Hi everyone, and welcome to our webinar, How to Improve Your Product with Customer Feedback You Already Have. My name is Rihanna Upton. I'm a content marketing specialist here at Gainsight, and I am super excited about this webinar topic today. Before we get started, I've got a couple housekeeping items to cover. Number one, we are recording, so expect the slides and the recording in your inbox before the end of the day. Second of all, we will have a questions and answer section at the end of this webinar. So if you have any questions at any time throughout the webinar, please just submit them in the questions tab in your control panel on the side of your screen. So let's get started. Today we will be talking all about customer feedback. Travis will be bringing context to the customer feedback, and Andrej will be talking about using customer feedback to get the right products to the market faster. We've actually switched these around. So Andrej will be going first, talk about customer feedback, and then Travis will talk about bringing context to it. And then we'll end with a Q&A. So I'm thrilled to introduce our speakers today. We have Andrej Danko from productboard. He's the VP of Product at productboard, where he oversees strategy, product management, and design. Prior to joining productboard, Andrej spent the past 20 years building enterprise systems, serving millions of customers, working at startups, covering fintech and healthcare domains, using cutting-edge tech, and leading product engineering and business development teams at companies like SAP, SourceWater, Shortlist, CEAI, and Merlin Intelligence. Travis Kaufman is the VP of Product Growth here at Gainsight, leading the delivery of product-led growth strategies for Gainsight Product Experience that you guys might know as Gainsight PX. Prior to joining Gainsight through the acquisition of Eptrinsic, now Gainsight PX, Travis held leadership roles in marketing, product, and engineering at companies like Marketo, LeadSpace, and E-Trade Financial. Needless to say, we have two really knowledgeable guys with us today to talk about customer feedback. So without further ado, I will hand it over to Andrej. Andrej, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Rihanna, for having me in this webinar, and thank you, Travis, as well. I'm really excited to talk with you on the topic of customer feedback and how it actually influences your ability to get the right products to market faster. So we at productboard, when we were starting up, we interviewed thousands of product managers to understand what it actually takes to get the right products to market faster. And we coined a term called product excellence, which is the name of an approach to product management that emphasizes getting the right products to market faster through deep user insights, a clear product strategy, and a coherent roadmap. These three pillars are a natural evolution of other methods that are already out there, like agile and lean manufacturing. But the contribution that we've made is that we've actually put them together and understood how they bring together insights, strategy, and roadmap in order to build great products that your customer need and want. So what are these three pillars? Deep insights really circles around what user needs, deep understanding of users, market opportunities in trends in business and technologies. And it allows you really clearly formulate what the needs and pains of your customers are and what potential solutions could be. Now, once you understand the deep user insights and once you understand the needs of your customers, you can articulate your strategy. The strategy is really about how do you create a plan to achieve your vision. So to achieve what your customers need and want, which comprises of market trends, customer segmentation, competitive intelligence, and your organizational IP. And it's really about how do you create a plan linked to objectives and OKRs that help you to execute on the vision. This wouldn't be sufficient if you don't rally your organization around a coherent roadmap. So if product management stays only a black box, but other people in the organization don't understand what you are actually trying to achieve, that wouldn't be enough. That's why you have to build a roadmap that is enabling others in the organization to contribute, but also align behind what your customers need and want. Next slide, please. So what are some of today's challenges that typically product organizations and product managers face? The first one is insight loss in noise. Compared to 10, 20 years ago, the number of channels that you have to actually collect feedback and get feedback from your customers has exploded. Product managers have, of course, limited access to CRM. Not all PMs have access to Inbox or Evernote, where typically customer interviews are documented. The systems are not really designed to help to categorize product insights into a coherent stream of knowledge that flows into the strategy. Prioritization typically is very reactive, reacts on customer features requests, reacts on what maybe your salespeople really need, and lacks clear focus because maybe the objectives and the outcomes are not really well defined and understood, and the feedback is not really linked to them. Meanwhile, also the teams other than product managers are disconnected. You have developers, you have designers, product designers that really need to deeply understand why to do certain things and what is the underlying need or pain, but they might be missing context because they don't have access to the information the product people typically have. And last but not least, it's also about the other stakeholders in the organization, whether it's sales, customer success, or support. If they don't know really what's going on, if product management for them is a black box, why certain decisions have been done, you might experience lack of trust or broken feedback loops. That's why it's super important to be able to articulate why you're doing what and connect the customer feedback to your strategy and to your roadmap. A modern product management system puts these things into a coherent life cycle. So as you can see on the slide, you have many different ways how you can collect feedback, which already exists, and you can consolidate these insights and to understand what your users really need and want into one place. Once you get a holistic view of your ideas, you can create clear prioritization objectives that all product managers use and consistently prioritize across a standard set of criteria. Once prioritization is done, you can share roadmaps which are typically automatically visualized and up to date, not only with your research and development or engineering, but also with other stakeholders that will contribute to success of what you're shipping later on as customer success or sales. And once you ship and start collecting feedback, you can start validating the ideas through systems like Portal to get valuable feedback that feedbacks again to understanding what users need and want, and you can perform what we call continuous discovery. So today's focus is on the feedback component. We'll be primarily talking about how to extract new product insights. One of the key things is to help you to understand what your users really need and want, so you can be confident that you're prioritizing the right things the right way. Typically, there are two types of inputs you're looking at. You can surface insights captured through existing channels. So that might be customer interviews, that might be sales things that you already know and have inside, or you can implement a system to capture ad hoc requests when you have a customer meeting or any other interactions with the customers. So let's look at the first one, which is capitalizing on the existing inputs. There are many different channels which you already have that provide great inputs to product insights. The typical ones are sales conversations, you have support tickets, you have user research, you have surveys, and NPS results.